I'll tell you on a grand scale who's helping nobody lose weight. It's Starbucks. This is true. They have a national training campaign to try to trick you into ordering food. And this is why. They know you're going to order a beverage. So they try to lead you into food. Pull into any Starbucks drive-thru, and now they greet you. They say, "Welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you to eat today?" And you're like, "Wait, what? I just wanted coffee." And they're like, "No shit. What else do you want?" So then you're like, "I don't know, sausage? Like, what do you have?" I don't respect that. I like my shame straight up and honest. And nobody does that better than the West Coast burger chain In-N-Out. And if you've never been in In-N-Out, get your fucking life together and go. And I want you to go simply so you can experience the most shameful and honest question in all of fast food. Because you pull up and you go, "I'll have a double, fries and a Coke." And they go, "Will you be eating in the car?" "Yeah, I think so." And they go, "I bet you will, you fat fucking pile of garbage." Doesn't that question sting? You're like, "Am I living in my car? Why am I eating in my car?" Because if you say no, they give you a bag and they're like, "Leave with dignity." But if you say yes, it's an open tray and they go, "Eat out of that, pig." And then it falls in your lap and they go, "Pick it up." And you're like, "How about?" And they go, "Are you gonna jerk off when you get home because you're lonely?" And you're like, "Yeah. We're gonna give you a free milkshake because you're bumming everybody out. We're fast food workers. You're making us sad. Get the fuck out of here."
I'm not calling you stupid if you're religious, okay? That's a cheap shot. If religion gives you comfort, I think that's great. I would not call you stupid for that. I would only call you stupid if you read your horoscope. And you make life decisions based on what the planets are doing. I don't know if you've ever spent time with one of these non-contributors, but they're usually sharing their wisdom, like, "You gotta go for it, because you're a Pisces." Thanks, Doc. Those are the same people that think it's a miracle to share a birthday with someone. Like that's a noteworthy event. And then you get to explain how that's not weird. Well, there's a lot of us. And not that many options. It's gonna happen all the time. Those people, ugh. But the ones who make me immediately homicidal are people who get excited about a close to each other birthday, as if that is worth wasting a breath on. I get this in hotels once a month. I check into a hotel, guy will take my ID and he'll be like, "You're April 16th? I'm April 3rd. I go, "Hold on a second. You mean to tell me 2 weeks before I was born, you were born?" Yeah, I've got panty pudding now. Every week, it's another city for me. I get asked the same questions every week by people. Are people the same everywhere? No. Some places suck and they have shittier people. I just gave you a sociology degree. How about that? You like that? Here's one universal truth about people, though. This one is true, and that is that everybody just wants to connect. It doesn't matter where you go or what language you speak, people just want to connect. And you know when you have chemistry with somebody. You know if you're like, "I want to hang out with this person," or "I want to date this person," or "I want to harness this person to the bottom of my big rig and drive them around for a while." and bury them 18 miles west of Lake Worth, and when I drive by, I'll get a boner. We all have these thoughts, right? Sometimes there's nothing there, and people try to force a connection. I think that's just rude. I'm checking in a hotel a few weeks ago. The guy comes from behind the counter, and he goes, "Where are you from?" I said, "Los Angeles." And he goes, "Yeah, I got family in Denver." And I was like, "What a coincidence." And he goes, "Yeah, they got a furniture store." And I was like, I like to sit on furniture. We're 2 for 2. I have shoes on. Do you have shoes on? Do you like to walk around? Let's fucking party. There's nothing there. Sometimes there's nothing there, and that's okay. You're not supposed to connect with everybody on the planet. That would be absurd. You should embrace that. I've been doing this, you should do this too. Next time you're at a bar, or you're just out, walking around, and somebody goes, "Hey man," just go, "Nope." I'm all friended up. And if they're like, "I just want to know what time it is," be like, "I only tell my friends what time it is." Working our way through all those muck-luck countries and listening to their jibber-jabber, I was like, "Why don't you speak the fucking world's language, asshole?" So, good to be here. We were in London yesterday. A couple days ago, we were with the Frogs in Paris. Beautiful city, you know, I hadn't been in years. It's a gorgeous city. And then they're like, "Do you want to know when this was built?" And I'm like, "No." You know? I see it. I don't need the whole story. Isn't that annoying at some point when they're like, "Do you want to know how long it took me to make this painting?" No, let me look at it and then get out of here. I don't care. Before that was Amsterdam, which is like a utopia. I mean, unbelievable, right? I mean, you take it for granted because it's so close. You walk, it looks like a movie set, and then you're like, "There's not even homeless people here? Like, what do you do with them?" And they're like, "We push them into the canal as they sleep. They never feel a thing." And you're like, "Really? You're taking that idea home?" Before then was Berlin. Oh, that. Learn not to ask so many history questions there. They don't even tell you the good stuff. You're like, "Where'd he shit? What happened?" I just asked the wrong person the wrong thing. I was kind of into the history for a second. I was like, I had a driver, you know, and I go, "Oh, were you here when the wall collapsed? Like when the wall came down?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I go, "What was that like?" And she was like, "It was a fun time." I go, "Do you want to be more specific?" And she goes, "We ate bananas." I was like, "I'm sorry." And she goes, "Yellow bananas?" And I go, "Yeah, they're always yellow." "That's what you did?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I go, "To celebrate the fucking end of communism?" And she was like, "This is what we do in my house." And I was like, no more questions. So, and before that, we were in Budapest, where they are not fucking around. They were like, "Do you want to throw a rock at a gay right now?" I don't think I got enough money to do that. And they were like, "No, for fun." I was like, "All right." Yeah, you can hide a few bodies in that place, but...
Yeah, I'm very philosophical, you guys. I feel like life is about timing, you know? Timing. When to pull out. When to stop wiping. When do you ask a professional athlete for his autograph after a home playoff loss? And I think the answer is never. Thankfully, one of my friends doesn't think this way. It is my favorite thing that's happened in my adult life, okay? One of my buddies, he lives in Cincinnati. He is a big Cincinnati Bengals fan, okay? Now, yeah, I know, they're tough. So, he goes to their game, they lose, which isn't weird, and then he decides he's gonna wait in the tunnel and ask players for autographs. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, wait, are you friends with like an 8-year-old boy or something? No, it's a grown man. So picture me in the tunnel of the stadium like, hi guys, keep your head up. Can I have an autograph? And he said they were all like, no. And some of them were like, fuck you. Imagine your heroes being like, fuck you. Oh my God. And then Adam Pac-Man Jones walked out of the locker room. Now, if you don't follow football and you're like, I don't know who that is, well, how can I best describe him? One time he went to a strip club and a bunch of people got shot. And then that happened 2 more times. What's up? I'll give you a sense of his vibe as bang, bang, ba-bang, bang, bang, ba-bang, bang, 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 bang. He is not approachable. So, my honky-ass friend the biggest honky in America goes, Pac-Man! Will you sign this football? And he said, Pac-Man went, what? Which to me would have been like, oh, so you don't? All right, cool. My friend just decides to make it more clear. He's like, it's a football, and you play it. I just watched you. Will you sign this? And he said, Pat goes, the fuck did you say to me? Which now I'm like, why are you still there? And he's like, I think because I'm actually shitting myself as it happens. But now he knows he's got one shot. Pac walks right up to him like, what'd you say? And my friend, he just goes, look, man, it's a football. It's from my dad, and my dad loves you. And he said, Pac-Man looked at him and he said, tell that motherfucker I appreciate him. That's the end of the story. But don't you love the juxtaposition of angrily being like, you tell that motherfucker, but then don't forget to say thank you. I've been trying to incorporate that expression in my life. I was at an airport bar, and I was getting up, and they called my flight, and the bartender goes, somebody recognized you. They said to send you a drink. I go, tell that motherfucker I appreciate it. And he goes, what the hell did you just say to me right now? And I said, fuck his mother, I appreciate her. Tell him that. Asshole. So I still haven't found a place for it, but I'm working on it. So
as a concept, it is reasonable to assume if you've been with somebody 3 years, you have a healthy thing going on, you may have slept together a few hundred times, right? Right. Now, I want you to think about how many times your dad has finished inside of your mom. So many times. Tom, why would you say that? Well, basically, I think all of our moms are a bunch of cum dumpsters, you know, but your mom more than my mom. Now, I know, it's a tough image to get out of your head once I've planted it, right? You're like, God damn it, my mom's dripping? Probably, yeah. Soaking wet. Look, your mom has done some nasty shit. Let's talk about it. She really has. And look, I'm here to defend her, all right? It is not her fault. It's your dad's fault, for sure. Your dad, with all due respect, is kind of a piece of shit. A little bit. And if you're like, not my dad, he's good. Yeah, to you. He's not always like that to your mom. If they've been together 3 decades, you don't think he says some off-colored shit every now and then? Of course he does. They're laying in bed, your dad's tossing and turning, he can't sleep. And your poor mother, is everything all right, dear? It's fine. Was supper good? Yeah, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. Can I do anything to help? Yeah, you can lick my balls, all right? And you want to know something? Your poor mother, she does it, all right? Because she's a ball hog, so your mom gets down there. And she goes, I like my life. She does it. Oh, your mom. Now, your grandma. Think about some of the things that she's done. On the railroad tracks or wherever she used to fuck around. El Paso, I don't know.
Probably checked into 400 hotels this year. And when I tell you that this has happened to me more than half a dozen times, I am not exaggerating. Every hotel check-in begins usually the same. It's standard. Hotels, the people at the desk, they go, last name? And this just happened to me. Last name? And I go, Segura. And the guy goes, whoa, are you Japanese? And I go, 100%, yeah. And he just goes, oh, we don't get a lot of Japanese people here. That's pretty cool. So I have to stop him and go, hey man, I'm not Japanese. And he goes, Segura. Segura! Sounds Japanese. I go, that's because you're saying it Japanese. I could be Smith, and if you want to go Smith, it's Japanese. He goes, well, what are you? Which is fucking rude. Can I just say it's never important to ask that question? What are you? It's never important to ask that. It's sometimes important, but not a lot. When is it important? Sushi chef, accountant, 100-meter dash. Outside of that, sometimes it matters. So I tell him, I go, Segura is Spanish. And he goes, that's weird. You look white. I go, I am white. And he goes, but you're Spanish? And I go, correct. He goes, do you speak Spanish? I said, yes. He goes, so you're Mexican? And I go, no. And he goes, I don't know what's going on. I said, what's going on is you failed fucking social studies. And you're not too good at geography either. And then I see his head drop, like he feels bad. I'm like, look, man, you understand there's white people in Mexico. You know that part. And he goes, no, I don't. I said, there's white people there, there's black people there, there's even Asian people there. And if you really want to shit your pants, those Asian people, they speak Spanish too. You don't expect it, but they're like, dim sum, muy rico, si lo quiero probar, si no lo quiero probar, concha tu madre, nadie te quiere, anda la mierda. They are Asian, and they speak Spanish.
I think the gayest I ever was in February. That's when I did my shows in Los Angeles, and Brad Pitt came to my show. Look, I do not know what year he was born or how many infants he consumes in a week, but that man is stunning, all right? He came into my dressing room. I couldn't make eye contact. Do you understand? Like, I was like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? He goes, look at me. I was like, no. He goes, come on. I said, shut up. He goes, you want to give me a kiss? I was like, yeah. And he goes, do it. I'm like, I got it. What? It wasn't gay. We took a bath later. That was gay. We talked about sports, so it balanced out, you know? A few years ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and I was sharing a cab with a woman I didn't know. Never met her before in my life. We're splitting the cab. Midway through the ride, as I'm looking out my window, I hear the woman go, "Hey." And I thought she was gonna be like, "Hey, like you wanna fuck or something?" And I was gonna be like, "I can't, I'm married, so make it quick, all right?" I look over, I'm like, "What is it?" And she goes, "Is this yours?" And she's holding a wallet. And I go, "No, it's not mine." And she goes, "Oh, it must be the previous rider's wallet. I'll just give it to the driver." And I go, "Don't do that, look at him. He looks like a cab driver. He probably smokes crack every once in a while. You can't trust these guys." I go, "Give it to me. I'll get it back to the rightful owner." And she goes, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah." She gives me the wallet. Now I feel obligated to find the owner. But here's the honest to God truth. I really want to. I've always dreamed about finding a wallet. I don't know why. I dreamed I would find a wallet, I would open it, it would have $1,000 in it, I would get it back to the rightful owner, and it would turn out to be like Will Smith, and then he'd be like, "Do you want a helicopter?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And I'd be like, "I got a family in Denver, do you like furniture?" So I open this wallet, it has $2, a grocery store rewards card, and a community college ID. So I have found not Will Smith's wallet. But I still try to do the right thing. I call the grocery store, I explain the situation, and I go, "Can you help me out?" And they go, "No. We're a grocery store. We don't track people down. Eggs are on sale. Go fuck yourself." And I was like, "Cool, thank you for your help." Then I call the community college, and I speak to literally every department in the community college for 4.5 hours. Before I finally get a contact number, I call the number, and a man answers the phone who I can only imagine has never used a phone before. Because he actually answers the phone with a noise. So just to break this shit down, I don't know if you've ever used a phone before, but usually when you call someone, and they pick it up, they say, "Hello?" That's fucking it. That's what people say when they answer the phone. Maybe if they're in a bad mood, "What?" Those are the two options. This man answers the phone, picks it up, and he goes, And I go, "Hello?" And he goes, And I go, "I'm gonna talk, and then you talk." And he goes, "Yeah." Like it was the first time someone explained to him how fucking phone calls work. Up until that point, he's just like, "That made a noise, I'm gonna make a noise too." So I go, "Hey, I found this wallet. I was given your number. I'm trying to return the wallet." And he says, "It's probably my son's wallet. He's always losing shit because he's a piece of shit." That's the first thing. I don't even know how to respond. I'm like, I go, "Well, can I give him his shit back?" He goes, "He's a real asshole." And I go, "We're talking about your son right now?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't think he's going to amount to anything." I go, "Jesus Christ." I go, "Maybe he will amount to something if he gets his wallet back." And he goes, Yeah, I'll let him know you called." And then he hangs up the phone without taking my information. So his plan is to go to his son and be like, "Some guy found your wallet." "Yeah, I don't fucking know." And he's like, "Walk away." So I'm super frustrated. I try to do the right thing, right? I forget about the wallet. A year goes by. A calendar year. I go back to DC. I go in town, I call a friend. We go to a restaurant, just a random restaurant. We sit down, and the waiter comes up to take our order, and I go, "Justin?" And he goes, "How do you know my name?" And I go, "Dude, I have your wallet." And he goes, "Oh, do you have it on you?" I go, "No, I don't fucking walk around with your wallet." I don't go, "I got my wallet and I got Justin's wallet. Now I'm ready to go out." "No, you fucking psycho." And he goes, "Do you want to hear about today's specials?" And I go, "Do you want to acknowledge that this is an amazing moment in both of our lives?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" "What do I mean? I found your wallet in a cab in DC a year ago. I don't know how many cabs are here, but I think it's a lot. I got told no 100 times by 100 people trying to find you. My hotel room used to look like an episode of NCIS. There was pins and charts connecting shit to each other. I spoke to your father, who's not a fan. I don't know if you knew that or not. I come to a restaurant at random. I get seated in your section, and I recognize you from your ID that's burned into my memory. You don't think that's fucking amazing? And he goes, we have a prime rib special. We also have a penne pasta. I can't eat. I'm like, what the fuck? He comes by, I go, look, I don't want to make a big thing here, but I do remember that I have your wallet in my bag in my hotel room. If you want to come by, I will give you your wallet. And he goes, okay. I go back to the hotel. I hear a knock at the door, and now I'm expecting him to lose his shit. I think the situation merits freaking the fuck out. I think he was playing it cool, and now he's gonna be like, I didn't want to say this earlier, we should open a surf shop in Maui together. You know, or like, this is my newborn son, I want you to have him, like that shit. So I hear a knock at the door, I open the door, I'm like, hey, and he goes, hey, you got my wallet? And I go, yeah. And I give it to him, and he goes, cool. And he turns around, and he walks away. No. It's not cool. So I open the door, and I see him about to get on the elevator. I go, hey, Justin! And he goes, yeah. And I go, your dad's right. You're a fucking asshole, and you're never gonna amount to anything. And I shut the fucking door. All right, let's go back to 1997. Holy shit. And fuck, that time flies. And I'm a freshman in college. And Thanksgiving, remember Thanksgiving, everybody? That's the first time that you go, usually back home. That's your first break in your freshman year. And it's a big deal because it's also like a mini class reunion, right? It's the first time you see everybody that you used to go to school with every day. You're back your first few months and everybody's recapping. And the big thing is the next day, the day after Thanksgiving, everybody gets together and parties their fucking balls off while acting like they're a new person, right? So I start off, I find one of the guys that didn't go to school, and he's like, I'm the new drug supplier. And I'm like, I remember you from math. And he asked me what I want, and I'm like, what do you got? And he goes, I have ecstasy. And I go, yeah. Everyone says, that's fun, let's try it. And I start taking it, and I forgot to mention, before I went to college, senior year, I got really into a drug that was making its way, especially through the South, through Florida, called GHB. And I'm sure, I don't know if you know what it is. It's a gamma hydroxybutyric acid. Your body naturally produces it. Sometimes there's some places where they regulate it as an anesthetic, but basically when you get it, somebody made it in a bathtub, and that's the good stuff, all right? And they sell it to you, and they get it in a water bottle. They also call it the date rape drug. I didn't do that. I gave it to myself all the time. And it does have an amazing effect on sex. On masturbating, let's be honest, on masturbating. I've really had some crazy masturbation seminars as a senior, and then I passed out, and I'm like, who jerked me off? Oh yeah, it was me. Okay. So, anyways, okay, so I get the ecstasy into my system, and then I take it. I'd never taken it, so as soon as I take it, I go like, hey man, fucking, I don't feel anything. He's like, you just took it, man. Like, give it a minute, all right? All right. So I'm hanging out at this party. We're at a party, everyone's together, and then we're gonna go to a bar. And at the end of the house party, on the way to the bar, I go, hey man, I don't feel anything. So he goes, all right, when we get to the bar, come find me, and I have GHB. So I'm like, okay. So I find him, and he's like, all right, let's go to the car. And that's always the big move when you go to the car, right? You're like, this is where dreams come true in the car. A drug dealer's car is where it all lives. So I'm expecting what I know, which is a water bottle, and then a dose is the cap. So all you do is you pour the water into the cap and you drink it like that. It tastes like ocean water, like seawater, right? Salt water. And then it's immediate.
GHB, if it's good stuff, it's like, we used to call it permagrin, because you just be like, ah, ah. And if someone's like, fuck you, you're like, ah. So I'm like, all right, where is it? And he goes, it's right there. And he has a gallon jug, right? And I'm like, wow, that's not a water bottle? He's like, yeah, I haven't even put it into the water bottles yet. That's the full thing. And it's a full gallon. Now, if you think about a full gallon, you know that A, the cap is much different. It's flatter. You're not going to sample. And it's also heavier. So I don't know how to pour it. So he's like, just take a shot. And I'm like, all right. So I put it up. And then I go, in my mind, oh shit. I have like 9 shots in my mouth right now. So the options are, do I spit it back into the main jug, which I feel like he's gonna be like, not cool with that, you know, being that he's a drug dealer and all. The other thing would be spit it out on the ground, and I don't wanna be rude, right? So I just go like, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. I have taken way too much GHB. Now, I'm leaving out the point that you're not supposed to mix GHB and alcohol. It is potentially fatal. You may have known this if you didn't. It can be. At this point, I am on 13 or 14 drinks, right? Like, and it's liquor, like, you know, vodka drinks, and I'm just pounding them. I get the 9 shots into me, and then I walk back into the bar, and I'm like, what's up, everybody? Like, I'm fucking... They're like, where does all this personality come from? This is natural, man. So, and then I sat down. I remember sitting down, and the girlfriend came, and she sat on my lap, and then lights out. Like, I just don't remember anything. Like, I went to sleep. All I remember is that I wake up, and I'm looking at lights on a ceiling, right? I'm just like, oh, shit. Is this heaven? And then I see a woman come into frame, right? Because I'm laying on my back. I can't talk. I can't move my arms. And this woman goes, hey, Tom, you are in the emergency room, and you overdosed on drugs, and now you're coming out of a coma. And I'm just like, oh. Like processing it. But the process literally was just eyes closed, like, oh, shit. And my only thought was like, I hope nobody knows. That's the only thing I'm thinking. I hope nobody knows. And then I open my eyes again, and my parents come into frame. And I'm like, everybody knows. And they look so just like, we thought you were a good kid. What the fuck? So I'd never been in trouble. They won't let your arm out because I pull out the tubes. I have a tube for breathing. I have another tube that's pumping liquid charcoal into my stomach because that makes the chemicals and the drugs like come together, and then you also can't digest it, so you vomit, which is what they want you to do. So as I'm like, I'm also like, I'm throwing up, right? So they give me a piece of paper and a pen that I can't really write normally because I'm strapped down, but I can kind of chicken scratch. And they're like, what did you take? Because they're trying to figure, they don't even know what I took. So I write, heroin. And they go, are you serious? And I write, JK. Right? They're not like, good one. They're like, what the fuck, are you joking? So, then the kid in me, I'm looking at my parents and I'm like so worried about them. I write on the paper, I go, are you mad at me? And my parents, at that moment, my dad reads it and he goes, no, buddy, just disappointed. And I'm like, can you save that for when I'm breathing on my own? Like, so I'm in that emergency, I get moved to critical, then ICU. In the ICU, a doctor comes in who I hadn't seen yet. And I'm later told, this is a doctor. They tell me this is a doctor that saved your life. So I'm sitting there in the bed, and he comes in and he goes, are you in a band? And I was like, what, man? What? And he goes, are you in a band? And I was like, no, I'm not in a fucking band. And he goes, well, you had enough in you to take down 2 drum players and a bass player, man. And I'm like, you now with the fucking jokes, really? And I go, well, he goes, what did you take? And I go, I had, I don't know, I took a couple pills. I told him honestly, I had some drinks. And I took, you know, some GHB, probably enough for like a lot of people. And he goes, what about the heroin? And I go, no, I was just joking. And he goes, no, you have heroin in your system. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you have heroin, you have cocaine, you have PCP. He's like, you also have the same chemicals that are in like cleaners, like some of the super duty cleaners. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And he goes, where'd you get your GHB from? And I go, one of my buddies from high school. He's like, yeah, he's a good friend. He gave you some fucking WD-40 to put in your system. So I you know, eventually get to breathe on my own and all this shit. And then he comes back and they're like, you know, the nurse tells me the doctor that saved you wants to talk to you. And I'm like, all right. And I asked him, like, how did I survive? And he was like, honestly, because you're fat. Like, you're pretty fat. And I was like, what, man? And he goes, I mean, a smaller person would definitely, like a 120-pound person would die halfway through this. This is just one of the only times where it's good to be fat, right now. And that's why I still haven't lost the weight, you guys. God, it's so weird. People ask me, like, I get asked fucking travel advice from strangers. Can we just break down how crazy that is? Like, people come up to me and they're like, hey, you travel a lot, right? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, where should I go? I don't fucking know you, man. You ask travel advice to people who know you intimately. They know you well. They can guide you based on what they know about you. I mean, you don't ask strangers dining advice, right? Because you're like, hey, well, where should I eat tonight? I know I've never met you before in my life, but do you think you could give me a recommendation? Yeah, you should try this dim sum place. But then that person might go, oh, I hate the Asian world. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that about you. Like, yeah, I killed like 4 of them. Like, what are you, like a serial killer or something? Yeah. Now you're in an awkward conversation with a serial killer. Here's all I'm saying. I can't tell you where to go. I can tell you where not to go. Wherever they film the first 48 on A&E. Oh, if you're not familiar with the show, here's what it is. Camera crews follow real homicide detectives for the first 48 hours after a murder. And the reason that time distinction is so important is that after 48 hours, they give up on that murder. They're like, that's some old shit. What do you want to do today? You're like, how about you keep trying to solve that murder, man? That shit happened on Monday. It's Wednesday. We're not going to solve that shit. Really. There are so many amazing moments on that show. So many. A lot of the episodes take a similar path. I'm blown away, first of all, at how many times there's a witness to a murder. It's crazy. I always thought murders happen in dark alleys. Nobody saw shit. No. Every other episode, they're like, you see that shit? And the guy's like, I saw that shit, yeah. Where? Right fucking here. Really, I was standing here, and then he killed that dude there. Right. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but comedians' lives are lonely. It's a lonely existence. I mean, you're in airports and hotels and cities with strangers every week. It gets lonely. Like, it really does. Like, you can only masturbate like so many times before you're like, I gotta get something to eat, you know? Like, it's one of those things. You gotta find something to boost you up. You know what's the biggest boost, the biggest spark when you're on the road is actually running into another comedian. It's the best. I can't even describe it to you. It's the one thing that you're like, yes. If it's a comedian you already know, it's like a reunion. If it's a comedian you've never met, there's so much excitement at the potential. You're like, oh, is he gonna be weird? Is he gonna be hilarious? Is it gonna be hilarious how weird he is? Like there's so much there. You know, it's how I imagine serial killers feel when they meet each other the first time. They're like, you know, you do it differently than the way I do it, but I totally respect your commitment to the craft. Like, you keep their toes in jars. That's nuts. That's awesome. So I'm at the airport, and I'm waiting to board a flight. And who do I see at the gate boarding the same flight? The comedian Bruce Bruce. Now, if you don't know who Bruce Bruce is, super successful comic. He's had TV shows. He sells out clubs and theaters everywhere. He's awesome. I've never met him. I see him at the gate. I'm like, I'm going to go talk to Bruce Bruce. And then I go, no, you're not. Bruce Bruce doesn't want to talk to you. So I don't say anything. Then we board the flight, and I get upgraded. Whoop, whoop! Upgraded. And now, who is sitting directly across the aisle from me? Bruce Bruce. Now I can't help myself. Now I have to say something. So I introduce myself to Bruce Bruce. Now, for this to really make sense to you, if you don't know who he is, I have to paint a picture, okay? Bruce Bruce is black, he has dreads, and he's a big boy, all right? Like when you say your name twice, there's a lot of you. Bruce Bruce is like 4 bills, okay? So, I might name myself Tom Tom if I gain another 100 pounds. So, I'm sitting across the aisle from Bruce Bruce, and I introduce myself, and he could not be nicer. Just to give you an idea of his status, we're at the gate on this plane, and the flight attendant announces that we're stuck at the gate. And she says, you can get off if you want to. Just take your boarding pass with you, and then you can get back on. So as I'm talking to him and they say that, I go, I'm not getting off. And he goes, I'm not getting off. And then a woman, a passenger from the back of the plane, walks up, and she leans down to him, and she goes, I'm getting off. Is there anything you want or need? And he goes, I would love some candy. And she goes, candy? And he goes, Twix, Skittles, shit like that. And then she gets off the plane, and I go, who is that? And he goes, I don't know. And I'm like, are strangers just buying you candy? And he goes, yeah. Like, that's Bruce Bruce status, okay? So we keep talking. We start talking about gigs that we've done, and we start talking about comedians and who's funny, who are the funniest comics ever. And we start literally listing comedians through time. Like we start with like Lenny Bruce and Dick Gregory, and we talk about George Carlin and Richard Pryor, all the way through Eddie Murphy, and then to today, you know, Kevin Hart and Dave Attell. And then Bruce Bruce says, that's all good, but do you know who the funniest cat of all time is? Now, I think it's a setup. I think he's going to be like, it's me, bitch. Like, it's like that, right? That's what I think it's going to be. And I'm going to let him have it. So I go, nah, like, who's the funniest cat of all time? And he goes, Andy Griffith. And I go, what? And he goes, Andy Griffith. And I go, are you talking about, like, that dude? And he goes, yeah, you ever been to the Andy Griffith Museum before? And I go, what kind of question is that? No, of course not, man. Like, is that real? And he goes, real? They have the car that he used to sit in, and you can sit in it too. And you can touch shit that he used to touch. And he goes, did you ever see episode 215 of the Andy Griffith Show? And I go, no, ass burgers. I didn't see episode 215. And he goes, that's my favorite episode. It originally aired March 13th, 1967. And I go, are you fucking with me right now? And he goes, nah, it was March 13th, 1967. And then he ate Twix, and he didn't talk to me for the rest of the flight. But I am begging you, if you ever see Bruce Bruce Anywhere. Walking around, sitting down, at a show, anywhere. Just go, hey man, Andy Griffith is the shit. And he'll be like, oh no, I've been saying that shit. And he'll lose his mind. That's it for me. You guys are the best. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I went to the doctor and I was like, all right, I'm just going to get a checkup, see what's going on. The honest truth is I knew it wasn't going to be awesome, okay? I knew the doctor wasn't going to be like, you might be surprised to hear this, but you're perfect. Like, you're a perfect physical specimen, man. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I didn't expect him to be a dick. Usually they're not. I feel like in my experience, doctors are polite. Almost overly polite, where it's phony and condescending. When they go, oh, really interesting story you got there. Doctors do that because you're telling them a story, and doctors don't want to hear a story. Doctors want to hear, this hurts. Not, I was over at my friend Charlie's house, and we went to move the ottoman, and I mean, you can use it as a coffee table, or you could use it as an ottoman, it's up to you. And your doctor's like, I want to blow my fucking brains out right now. I go in there, I sit on the exam table, which is my least favorite table to sit on in the world. It's the only table that in 30 years I've sat on where my feet don't touch the ground. So I feel like a fucking toddler waiting like... My doctor comes in, he doesn't say hello, he doesn't say good morning. He just walks in, he points at me, which is super aggressive, you know? To start a conversation with somebody like, hey man, you're like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, what? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, I don't get it. And he goes, has nobody told you that your hair's falling out? And I was like, damn. No. And he goes, oh. Sorry. All right. Then he pulls my chart out of the slot, super dramatic, so that it makes a fucking noise. He goes, I'm like, and he goes, wow. And I'm like, really? Wow. Is it full-blown AIDS? Like, why is it wow? And he goes, you weigh 245. And I go like, yeah, like I knew that shit. And he goes, you weighed 230 last time you were here. Not exactly what I would call weight loss. And I'm like, are we at a fucking roast or something? Right? Like, what are you doing? Then he says, you know, you're the fattest patient I've seen all day. And I go, it's 9:30 in the morning. And he goes, still. He's like, you know, we ran your blood work. It turns out your muscle enzymes are through the roof. And I go, yeah, man, like, I'm super strong. Like, how is that a problem? And he goes, they're off the charts. I'm like, even better. I'm probably your strongest patient, man. And he goes, I don't think you understand muscle enzymes. And I go, that's true. I don't know what they are. And he goes, well, the only way you could have them this high would be like, A, if you were an Olympic athlete, which clearly, you know, I'm like, dude, what is the deal, man? And he goes, the other way would be if you were a cocaine addict. And I go, I don't do coke. And he goes, I'm your doctor. You don't have to lie to me. And I go, I'm not lying. And he goes, I can't treat you if you're not going to be honest. And I go, hey man, aren't cokeheads skinny? Isn't that like part of the deal? And he goes, usually, yeah. The nurse comes in, she takes my chart out of his hands and she goes, oh my God, his muscle enzymes are so high. Maybe he runs marathons. And my doctor goes, look at him. So at this point I go, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me today. I'm gonna leave now. And he goes, all right. And he goes, hold on a second. Do you have a ring on your finger? And I go, yeah. And he goes, you're married. And I go, yeah. And he goes, to a guy? And I go, no. And he goes, oh, I thought you were gay. And I go, why? And he goes, oh. I'm like, all right, dude. And he goes, hey, I'm just kidding. And I go, that's fine. He goes, but check it out. And he takes my chart and he shows it to me, and he had written gay question mark on my medical chart. The thing that gets sent to other doctors has his inside, maybe he sucks cock joke written on it. I went home, I told my wife, she's like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I mean, are you ever gonna go back there? I'm like, are you out of your mind? That's the funniest fucking doctor in the world. Of course I'm going back there. I have like Don Rickles as my primary care physician. It's amazing. I'm faking injuries to go back to this guy. You know you're a piece of shit. I'm like, I know.
My friend, I can hear her audibly say, I can't believe I'm thinking that. And I go, thinking what? And she goes, oh, nothing. And I go, what is it? She goes, it's embarrassing. And I go, well, just tell me. She goes, if I tell you, you'll make fun of me. And I go, I always make fun of you. Just say it. And she goes, no, it's just something, I want to keep inside. I go, but you said you want to do it, so just say it, and then you can make it happen. She goes, I don't want to. I go, listen, if you don't put it out in the universe, it'll never happen. You got to say it. What is it? And she goes, okay, I want to blow somebody in the Wu-Tang Clan. Now, I immediately think, what would my mom say, And I tell myself, don't be like mom. This is this girl's dream. So I look her dead in her eyes, and I go, you should try. There's a bunch of them. That's what I said. Now, 3 months later, she got on their tour bus, and she told them, and guess what? They all accepted. If you are not familiar, there are 9 guys in the Wu-Tang Clan. 9. So many guys. That's so many. Can we park for a moment at how many dicks 9 is? I don't even understand how anyone's sitting in their seat right now. There's people out here like, what else you got? Are you shitting me? That's not a lot. Close your eyes and picture 9 dicks. You're like, oh my God, they're everywhere. Yeah, because there's 9 of them. That's why. I'm not slut shaming. I'm saying objectively, 9 is a lot of anything. Like if I was like, I had cinnamon rolls today, and you're like, how many did you have? I had 9. You want me to take you to the emergency room, or you're gonna lose a foot by the morning, we should go. 9 dicks? Are you fucking shitting me? Some of you, it took you 15 years to get to 9 dicks. This was a Thursday for this young lady. Try to imagine the physical labor involved with blowing 9 probably not small dicks. If you're not aware, the Wu-Tang fellas don't look like me, all right? That is some CrossFit shit at that level. If you think burpees are rough, try. Am I doing good? Do you like me now? Like, after how many do you think she was like, let's take a little break for a second? What the fuck am I doing? Why are they so mean about it? How many is that? 4? Fuck! Am I done? And they're like, no, you're not done. You got RZA, Ray, Ghost, Matt. No, you're not done. She's like, but my neck hurts. And they're like, you gotta protect your neck. Don't you listen to our music? Yes, yes. That is a top shelf Wu-Tang blowjob joke. Now, she was a real animal, you know. I asked her one time, I was like, if you could go back to that day and do anything differently, what would you have done? And she said, I'd have skipped lunch. So...
You ever forget you have kids? Like you're having a great day. And then you're like, oh, fuck. I did do that. I was home for the first day of school this year. I took our youngest. He's in PK, pre-kindergarten. Cute little shit. I did drop-off. I don't mind doing drop-off. I don't like that he doesn't know when to start a story. He always waits till we pull up to school. I pull up to school. He goes, do you know what happened yesterday? And I'm like, why would you wait the whole drive? Oh, it's too. I don't want to hear it now. I fucking kicked him out of the car. I go to pull out, and the teacher comes up to me. She goes, can you come in? And I go, no. I graduated a long time ago. I don't have to do anything. She goes, all the parents are in there. I go, even more reason why I don't want to come in. She goes, we're talking to the kids about COVID. I go, trifecta. I'm not coming in. She goes, we have a bunch of snacks. And I was like, all right, I'll see what you got. I go in there. She lied. Well, it's not parents, it's dads. They lured us with food. It's a bunch of fat dads shoveling food in their faces. We're gonna talk to pre-kindergartners, let me remind you, about COVID. These are 3- and 4-year-olds who say shit like, I like yellow. And we're gonna be like, there's a virus that has ruined the economy. All right, get out of here. So she's like, who wants to go first? And I was like, hell no. I stood back, and this fucking dildo in boat shoes, he's like, I'll go. He goes, I learned that every day matters. And I was like, all right. Good one, dork. And then the next dad, he goes, I learned that you never know what tomorrow might bring. I looked for his kid. I was like, is that your dad? And then I found my kid. I was like, don't play with that kid. You know? She goes, Mr. Segura, do you want to go next? I go, do you want me to go next? Okay, I'll go. Hey, kids. I learned, if you really want to know the truth, I'll tell you the truth. Honestly, I learned that I didn't really wash my hands before. Because I didn't. That's what I've taken from these last few years. Remember, because when it first broke, when they were like, this is AIDS in the air, and you're like, wait, what? What did you say? How do you get it? And they're like, do you ever touch stuff? And you're like, all the time, yeah. Wash your hands. Okay. Do you ever open doors? The CDC asked, do you ever open doors? So many, yes. Wash your hands. You got it. Now I do, I really do. But if I'm being completely honest, back then, I feel like I really only washed my hands when I had literal shit on them. You know, like, you know those wipes where your hand comes up and it's right here on your thumb and you're like, God damn it. I'm gonna wash my hands. I'm not a fucking lunatic. I'm not gonna see that I'm busy. I'm gonna, you know, I'll give it a real scrub. But even then, I'll check my work after. I'll check to see if I did it. Some of you are lying. Oh, I hate when people, oh, that's never happened. to me. Really? You've never had a sloppy Joe just fall out of you before? Or a cherry bomb, you know, those, and you're like, it's on both cheeks? How's it on both cheeks? Too many Brussels sprouts. That's how. Now, those will get you.